What's up, YouTube? I figured I would do this live on YouTube. This is actually the final day that I have to get a motion in to Circuit Court. And I probably should have just waited a second for to see if some people jump on, which I'm sure they will. What's up? What's up? What's up? Down to the wire. It's 4:36. I have until 5 o'clock to get a motion into Lafayette County Circuit Court to effectively, what I'm doing is I'm asking the court to allow me to withdraw my plea of guilty that was given at the end of last month. Never should have happened. Never should have happened. Never should have listened to the bad advice from my public defender. This is why this is where the legal system kind of gets skewed, because if you don't have the ability to actually get a good paid attorney, and you're assigned a public defender, a lot of times they're going to all be working in together with the district attorney and basically a public defender. What I've found out personally, they suck. They're not out for truly the better interest of their clients. I'm over here on the square, by the way, okay? And I had to just override my attorney. Complete attorney malfeasance, okay? So I've got a 9-page motion right here giving 9 pages of reasons why the court should allow me to withdraw my guilty plea. Give me 1 second, guys. We're about to walk inside. Welcome, welcome. So I'm submitting for those that just jumped on here, what I was just talking about, I've got a motion to withdraw my guilty plea that I was pressured into signing. There we go. And right now what I'm doing is making sure that my my dash cam right here is recording, so these people aren't up to any kind of funny business. So I'm gonna I'll actually read this thing to you. Start the recorder in my pocket right there. Always, if you're dealing with the government, if you're dealing with really any government, if you're dealing with Lafayette County government, that's for sure, always record every interaction that you have with them. I'm trying to turn this damn thing around. There we go. So I talked to Snuffy to get permission to come up here to file a court document. I'm glad I have to get permission from the same ones that have been a problem. Hello.
How you doing, Mr. Reardon?
I'm good. How you doing?
Amazing. The clerks are asking you to put your phone down. They don't want to be recorded.
I understand, and I'm not trying to cause any issues. This is for my safety. I mean, it is a public lobby. I won't aim it at her. It's just for my safety.
All right, then keep it pointed out to the street then. Is that not fair?
What about your camera?
I'm recording.
You've got a camera on.
You seem a little agitated, so.
I'm not. No. I'm just very uneasy having to deal with y'all being here while I'm trying to file a court document.
I got you. I was here to take a report for the official business.
Okay.
Yeah, you can point it out that way. Yes, ma'am. He's setting it down, so it's 100% pointing to the front door, man. And you can see it if you stand up.
If y'all got fucked with like I did, y'all would be recording also. Guarantee it. Can I get a copy of that? And do you have a notary stamp?
Yes, a notary is $1.
Do y'all take card?
No, sir, we don't take card.
Oh God.
You have your ID for the notary as well, Mr. Reardon?
No, not on me. So I'll toss out the well. I need it. So
I'm gonna stamp and I'm gonna give you copies of everything.
okay. Hey Jeffrey. Hey, by the way, if y'all are up here, because I called up here and said that circuit court's always giving me a fucking problem, that's nothing to take a report on.
You're not gonna use that language.
Okay, but it's not,
courthouse.
but no, I was telling the officer,
No,
because I figured
no,
they're
I'm
probably
telling
up
you,
here for
you're
that
not gonna
reason.
You're not gonna cuss my employees.
I wasn't,
or the employees
I was
of the
telling the
state.
officer that I called over
Matt,
front, I didn't cuss that
I'll
off.
have you arrested now, but you're not gonna talk to my employees that way.
I'm just conversating with you about what
And
happened.
I'm conversating back with you with your camera, so I hope people see it, that you would call
Oh,
and
lots
cuss
of
the lady.
people are gonna see it. Lots
Good.
and lots of people are
Yeah,
gonna see
good,
it.
I'm glad they're gonna know that you called
It's actually
and
live
cussed
on
the young
YouTube right
lady
now.
and then came up here and cussed them again.
It's live on YouTube right now.
I'm happy for that. I've done nothing wrong to you.
What's up, Fingerman?
Somebody can call us for any reason.
I understand, but you
And
know that
we're
these
gonna
people-
respond to anyone that calls for any service in this
Uh-uh.
county, and you know that's always been the way the sheriff's
Except
department
I've reported
operates.
stuff and you guys have never taken anything that I've reported seriously whenever I'm on the receiving end of it. That's how it works, guys.
One, I can't go backwards in time, right? And I can't
you.
speak for something in the past, especially something that I've never dealt with myself, okay?
Right.
Directly, but also not trying to be rude,
That's all
but
he has
someone
to
showed
say.
up, right?
All right, guys. Take care of yourself.
You got any questions for me, Mr. Bird?
No, I don't answer questions. So, those jackasses, since she called the sheriff's department, because they made a report of it, for that sole reason and that sole reason only, I'm going to publish the call that I made to Circuit Court. And you get to hear for yourself how obnoxious these people are. And the simple fact that I said that Circuit Court, that these people are always trying to come up with some way to fuck with me when it comes to entering a court document. She hung up the phone, and that Karen called the sheriff's department to make a report because I said that they're always trying to fuck with me. And it's the truth. It is 100% the truth. First Amendment! Fucking jackasses. What are they gonna do? Arrest me for saying fuck over the phone? And then when the circuit clerk came in there, I just assumed that the two deputies were in there because they love to take reports on Matt Reardon. Somebody calls in with a report from Matt Reardon, they're all about showing up. All about it. All about it. Because these are the same people that have hit me with fake attacks, false arrest, they've conspired with state officials, county officials, and it's gone on for 5 years. I'm going to tell you why I did, another reason why I did that right there, okay? This is what's going to shock everybody, okay? And I haven't really been vocal about it like I should. I really haven't even publicized this. And it's kind of pretty shocking to me that I haven't. When I was fed the bad advice after being locked up for 3 months for walking into City Hall on June 20th to record the interior of City Hall, the historical artifacts, and to make a public records request, I was ordered to leave City Hall because of a sham 2017 restraining order that the Oxford mayor, the then incoming Oxford mayor, took out on me. Okay? That was done to bar me from speaking at City Hall, by the way. When I pled out, okay, I was charged with aggravated stalking. Ultimately, 3 days after I went into City Hall, the Oxford Police Chief, Jeff McCutcheon, and I got this through a public record request, Jeff McCutcheon referred the matter over to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, knowing up front that referring it to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations was creating a gigantic conflict of interest because last year I openly and publicly accused the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations of being complicit and derelicting their duty from not taking reports of public corruption and election fraud involving who's in office for mayor, okay? Offered proof of this, how this destroyed my life, and how this person coming up for re-election does not need to come up for re-election. They would not take any type of report. They would not investigate anything. I told him that if she reports something to y'all, that y'all are all over it, and he assured me that that was not the case, okay? Well, I published the call. When he finally called me back after I openly accused him of being complicit and corrupt and derelicting their duty, I finally got a call back from the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations last year, and that was where he told me they weren't going to do anything. So I published the call, all right? They're mad. Oxford Police Chief refers a simple matter where I just simply walked into City Hall. I didn't see the mayor. I didn't threaten the mayor. I didn't ask for the mayor. But yet it was referred over to Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, and this jackass investigator hands down an arrest warrant for aggravated stalking, saying that me going into City Hall simply to record in the publicly accessible areas and to request public record was considered aggravated stalking. They kept me in jail for 3 months' time. I pled out to bad advice because I have 4 kids. My attorney said that because of all the influence with who all was involved, okay, that chances were they were going to exploit the statute, and whether or not we had a trial in Lafayette County or whether we got it moved to a neighboring county like Union County, all right, there was a good chance that the jury would be tainted and that they would get a conviction somehow, some way, exploiting their own statute right there. And then they would send me away. So I ended up, against all better will, because I knew that I was innocent of that. Knew it. I wanted to go to trial. It was that's a First Amendment issue right there. Pled out. Need to provide for my kids. Need to get home to my kids. Hadn't seen them in 3 months. They banished me for the second time from Oxford and Lafayette County. A 5-year banishment. Put me on 5-year non-reporting unsupervised probation. As a condition of that, they imposed a 5-year banishment. Okay, so this is the second time this same area has banished me. All right, and it's because it's part of a bigger mission to cover everything up, because I've gotten truly on my grind as far as getting to the bottom of all the facts and details and what all happened. I've uncovered shocking amounts of public corruption right here in Lafayette County. Shocking amounts of public corruption. And it always continues, okay? It is not fair that I've had to wear these fake titles, that I've literally been hit over the head with 2 fake felony charges by this same county that figured out that they could abscond with their own liability for putting one of these charges against me and making sure that I can't get out of jail, all right? It's not fair that November 15th I have to move out of the county. They literally gave me 45 days from the 30th of last month when everything went down. I had 45 days to leave the county. Well, where I live is on the outskirts of Lafayette County. So I'm ultimately now having to up and leave where I live. Don't know honestly, I'm basically playing it day by day right now because this whole situation is so screwed up. Destroyed my career path that I had going before. That's what put me on the mission of being an investigative journalist and why I take this stuff so seriously. I can't stand corruption. Tyrants need to be stomped out. They need to be done away with. Corruption, where it's found, it needs to be exposed. Has to be exposed. And you can see right there, and if I was, trust me guys, if I was anywhere else but Lafayette County, where I had to call up there and get permission just to go to the courthouse to file a document that they wanted to give me a hard time about even coming uptown to file that, okay? If I was anywhere else, I would have challenged the hell out of that woman that told me I couldn't record in there, that I needed to turn my phone away, because that's ridiculous. I mean, I fight that anywhere else. I knew those guys right in there were looking for any reason at all possible to make an arrest. Any reason. And they would have taken the smallest thing and they would have made a mountain out of a molehill. Guaranteed. 100%. You heard, you were listening in while I was in the courthouse just now, okay, the big deal about me calling over there and asking the clerk to print my motion because my printer was out of ink. She told me no, that they wouldn't do it. I was like, well, y'all kind of put me in between a rock and a hard place. I spent all day working on this motion, realized my printer was out of ink, and here I am down to the last minute, and I need to get it printed. It's never been a problem for them to print it before. It's only a problem now because I'm banished from Oxford. They know I can't go anywhere else. And so I simply told her that this court, Circuit Court, and that is the truth, has literally done everything that they could do to fuck with my filings. I mean, that same court has fraudulently altered 2 separate documents out of the circuit clerk's office. Proof. Got proof of it. And now they want to criminalize the word, they want to criminalize profanity. Because I used it basically as an emphasis word, expressing my extreme discontent with everything. You know, it's still pretty childish if I were to have used it in the context of, you know, basically calling her an F and B, you know. But that wasn't even the case. I just simply said that they were fucking with me. And now they want to try to criminalize that? I can't wait to see the report that comes out of that. Jeff Busby is a punk. Circuit Clerk of Lafayette County is a fucking punk. Back December 6th, when I found records changed, fraudulently altered in the Lafayette County Circuit Clerk's office, okay, that punk told each of the clerks, don't answer any of my questions when I was trying to find out how the record could have been changed. Who could have changed it? Questions that any concerned citizen would have wanted to know. But you know what Jeff Busby's response was? Let's get on the phone and call the Lafayette County Sheriff. Even though I wasn't even making any kind of scene, I was asking questions in a normal tone, in a normal voice. Jeff wants to call the Lafayette County Sheriff up there, and as I'm going to leave, I get blocked in and told not to go back into circuit court again unless I have something to file. You can't make this shit up, folks. You can't. I mean, I'm always going to stand up. My biggest regret is not standing up for myself the way that I should have stood up for myself when I was being held in jail on a felony accusation that I knew I was innocent of, just had bad attorney advice, bad attorney representation, an attorney that didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to come up and see me. I mean, it's been a absolute nightmare, folks. It's an absolute nightmare that I'm living, and now I'm down to 2 weeks left before I have to move out of my house, and I haven't figured things out. You know, it's a shame. I had a tremendous career path, which got screwed up back in 2017 because of political nonsense, political quid pro quo. And I've lost 4 houses over the last 5 years. 4 houses over the last 5 years. Yeah, I just pulled up the comments. So I'm looking at some of them. Actually, the latest ones. Yeah, they're. I'll tell you, Long Island Audit. This would be a great place for Long Island Audit to go. They strictly prohibit the use of any cell phones or recording devices inside of the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department, and they are serious about that. I've never seen a county more paranoid when it comes to a camera or a voice recorder than these people. These people freak out quick. I mean, quick. You want to see it happen? Go in there with a camera. Go in there with a recording device. It's like they are trying to keep stuff just private, and I see why. I've got plenty of evidence why. When court records are changed, when people are fraudulently charged, you know, when it's cover up after cover up after cover up, leave a liability wake behind. You know, this is the epitome of tyranny. This is the epitome of what we're trying to prevent. And the fact that these people haven't been put in check, the Attorney General of Mississippi hasn't stepped in to intervene and has allowed this stuff to go on. The fact that the U.S. Attorney's Office has stood down and condoned it and allowed it to go on. The Lafayette County crime racket that has involved multiple officials in Lafayette County and has also involved multiple people throughout the state of Mississippi government that have been informed of what's going on and have refused to do anything about it, that makes them just as guilty. So I wanted to take y'all along with me whenever I rode up there, and I turned that in because when I spoke to Snuffy at the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department before I went up there, Snuffy gave off the impression that there would be sheriff's deputies up there at the courthouse. I told him that, I said, please leave me alone, don't fuck with me, and I won't, I'll leave them alone, I won't fuck with them. Alright? But just the impression that Snuffy gave off, I didn't feel very comfortable going back into Oxford, back into that courthouse, without taking some extra sets of eyes with me. So I appreciate y'all jumping on here. This is the most I've ever had on a live stream at once, 52. Not bad, not bad. Oh, well, tell you what, I'll scan in this 9-page motion, all right? And I'm sure, in my hurry to get it all done, I'm sure there are probably a couple of things that I left out of it that I wish I would have put in there. But this I will end it with. I've got the, let's see, right here. So number 32, paragraph 32 says, it is these reasons listed out the defendant requests this court to grant his motion to withdraw his plea of guilty, and list the reasons for such out in summary. A, ineffective assistance of counsel. B, attorney malfeasance. C, failure to investigate. D, failure to introduce exonerating evidence. E, constitutional rights violations. F, prosecutorial misconduct. And G, a fundamental miscarriage of justice. They effectively manipulated and defeated the due course of justice in not one, not two, but 3 separate courts in this matter. They grotesquely violated my First Amendment right, not only for freedom of speech and freedom to record in a publicly accessible building, but my right to petition the government for a redress of grievances, and my right under the freedom of press to simply walk in to the Oxford, Mississippi City Hall, to not cause any disturbance. Got the whole thing videoed. Didn't cause a disturbance until I was ordered out and told I couldn't go back in. This is the stuff I'm dealing with, folks. This is the stuff I'm dealing with. You can't make it up. Can't make it up. Lots of crazy stuff happened. I actually wish I would have gotten it with the camera facing forward, but I knew if I pushed the topic any further that those 2 deputies were going to give them their way and make an arrest. And trust me, this is not the place that I want to go to jail at. This is not the same lion's den that already deprived me fully of my rights for lengthy amounts of time in order to coach a favorable outcome for them. All right. What's a green screen? No, I'm actually driving. It's not a green screen. I'm actually driving. Yeah, I did. I fired it. I sent him a text message, and in fact, I said, his name is Mark McClinton, by the way, who's decided to blow off every text message of mine, knowing that today was the final day to get in this motion, and he gave me the big fuck you. So I said, the other day on Friday, I said, you were appointed by the court to do a job that you didn't do. You have miserably failed me as my attorney and your client. You are fired. And then I got a message back from him. I got a message back from him saying only the court can fire me. Also, I was not appointed to represent you in any way outside of circuit and justice court issues. He hadn't done this. Really, I hadn't seen the first thing done in the justice court issues that are being appealed to circuit court, which was sham. That was the one where I'm in the parking lot of the sheriff's department and I get my ass beat by 2 deputies for waiting for Joey East, the sheriff, to come out and address me, speak to him, because he ignored emails about criminal conspiracy. My ex. That one right there. Yeah. That's what I got for you guys. I made it back. I finally made it back. Let me see what's going on. It's Halloween tonight. Please go back in and review this. Feel free to review this. Yeah, that was a little bit crazier back whenever I went into circuit court, because I knew what those 2 sheriff's deputies were there for. Alright, that's all I got for you for right now. I'll go back live if anything happens.